Hey everybody, it is Snipes and Stripes again right here on nofilter.net. And gosh, I don't even know where to start. I guess I got to start with saying hey to my buddy Tim Peel, my partner in crime, and the guy who's enjoying the playoffs as much as I am, I would imagine. And he's in Chicago, Illinois, because he's a great dad and his son is playing hockey. So Timmy Peel from the Spring Hill Suites in Illinois. What's going on, buddy?
It's not the. I know you're used to staying at the Ritz Carlton. It's no
Nope.
Ritz Carlton, buddy. It's the
Nope.
Spring Hill Suites.
So let me tell you something. This is crazy. This is not crazy, but it's a dead honest truth. So when I go away to do my whiskey events, I go back east, and you know what I look for? You know the hotel that I look for to stay in?
Spring Hill Suites.
Nope, the Holiday Inn Express. And I
Ooh,
stay at a Holiday Inn Express every time I can stay there because they have amazing beds, amazing showers, and they have a free breakfast in the morning, and it is spectacular. And it's like $180 a night. I am totally addicted to Holiday Inn Express. Not to mention that I'm smarter the next day.
well, yeah, because you stayed at a Holiday Inn Express.
Correct.
Right,
Correct.
exactly.
Correct. Yes. So I'm very happy staying at a Holiday Inn Express. So well done with the Spring Hill Suites. And by the way, which you're about a mile from where I lived when I played for the Chicago Blackhawks.
That's funny. I didn't know. I didn't know we were that close to downtown. Like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, 20 minutes, right downtown, right down the Eisenhower. Boom. Right down the chute. So anyway, thanks to Whiskey in the Wild, whiskeyinthewild.com, the best chocolate whiskey of all time, protecting net guards, courtesy of our good friend Timmy Peel, who is on the screen with you, and Bet Online, one of the best online betting sites that you can possibly
And
get to.
and and our new sponsor, Holiday Inn Express.
And our new sponsor, Holiday Inn Express. Boom! I like that. That a boy. Buddy, have the playoffs not been insane?
Oh my God, it's awesome.
Are
It's
you kidding me right now?
we've
Like
got
my mind is blown.
It is awesome. There's so much to talk about. Games tonight, what's gone on, the previous games. It's been awesome.
By the
There's
way, are
sacred.
there NBA playoffs going on? I don't even know. I don't even know if anybody knows NBA playoffs are going on.
Well, you know what? TNT, I think, do the best job. I think they do the best job. They've got the best crew. Um,
They
uh,
are awesome.
they are awesome. You've got, and I know you know him well, Charles Barkley. On the set the other day, just Mosey's on talking about whatever. Uh, Charles Barkley loves the NHL
He wants
playoffs.
to be in the NHL studio more than he
Yes,
wants to be in the
he
NBA
does.
studio.
I know. He loves the NHL playoffs. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, how can you not? Like look at the first 5 days of the NHL playoffs. And if you go back to February and think about the Four Nations Cup and about how awesome that was and how great the hockey was, how physical, how motivated, how in the game
Yeah,
these guys were, playoffs are and they are just as good, if not better, than the Four Nations. I mean, you look at the Colorado Dallas series. How unbelievable has Dallas just grit and grinded and stayed patient and been able to be resilient and just stick in games? It's unbelievable to watch this series. Who I thought Colorado would be running away with it, but Dallas just says no. We're not going to give in. We're going to stay resilient. Everybody's going to be in. There's not one passenger on the Dallas Stars.
you know. And before we talk about that, I wanted to hear uh, your version or your view on it. You gave it all every game. How did you ramp it up for the playoffs? How did you do that? Mentally, how did you do that? Physically, how did you do that? Was it
Yeah,
like,
I
how
don't.
did you get yourself to another level?
So for me, not many people think of what the playoffs mean, right? So 82 games is a fight to get to the opportunity to play for a Stanley Cup. Um, you're not. It's not really a salary based.
No.
82 games. I mean, you make a good salary, but you play 82 games to set yourself up to play for the hardest trophy in sports to win.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to the first game of the playoffs and you've battled for 82 games and you know that you have achieved that opportunity, that's when the excitement happens. That's when, okay, here we go. We got 2 months that we have a chance to achieve one of the greatest things in sports, and that's to raise the Stanley Cup and then have the best party in the history of sports
Right.
for the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
And it's a new slate. Doesn't matter what happened in the regular season. Doesn't matter if you whatever points you scored, whether you're a fourth liner, whether you're a sixth defenseman, whether you're a backup goalie. All of you guys have a chance now to win a Stanley Cup because you have earned that place. Because there's 20, yeah, 16 teams that are on vacation. They're
Yeah.
done. They're done. They have
Yeah.
no chance. So that mentality kind of says is a new invigoration. It's a new life. It's like a new set of downs. It's starting from scratch, and it didn't matter what you did in the playoffs because if you're a fourth liner, you could be a hero in one of the games. Now you're in a game seven situation, 7 game situation, and one big play can totally dictate a whole series. Perfect example, Benoit last night, scoring the overtime goal for
Mm-hmm.
Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
That series is either 3-0 or 2-1.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I love the interview with Benoit last night. The guy says, "Is this the biggest goal you ever scored?" And he said, "Well, I don't score goals. So, yeah, this is the biggest goal ever." It's like, and by the way, it changed the course of the series. And it didn't matter what he did during the regular season. That one goal that he scored changed the entire situation for first round for Toronto. Because if Ottawa wins, it's 2-1. It's a different series.
Different series.
So
Different
for
series.
me, you say, how do you get excited? Because one play, one goal, one shift can be a series decider, and everyone can be a hero.
Yeah.
So, and you have a chance to play for the cup. So that's what got me excited. And I don't think guys today really think of all the dynamics of really what it's really about to be in the playoffs to the extent that I just described it.
And what I love about that Benoit goal is I was listening to the NHL Network when we were driving from rink to rink today, and they're saying that someone asked Matthew Nyes if it hit him or not. It might have hit him. I don't know. But he goes, no, no. He goes, this is Benny's. He called him Benny. This is Benny's moment. This is his moment. This is his teammate, right? This is his moment because Nyes is going to get a lot of big goals over his career, but Benoit may not get a lot of big goals like this. So, that this Toronto team is different. Under you and I knew they
It's a
were going
great
to
point,
be.
man. It's a great point. And by the
You
way, that might be the thing that was missing from Toronto is
exactly,
is the team mentality. Listen, I don't care who scores the goal. We just won.
exactly, and that's what Craig Berube does. That's the difference between a Craig Berube coach. Like one of the funniest things that's gone on in the playoffs was Game One when Toronto scored and Mark Savard, Chiefs assistant coach, he acted like they just scored the winner in Game Seven of the first round or the Stanley Cup Final. Savvy's just pumping it up. And Chief, it was all over social media. And Chief looks at him, and go, "Calm down. What are you doing?
Yeah, I saw
What are you,
that.
what are
I
you
saw
doing?"
that. I
And
saw
you
that.
see, and then a few minutes later, they score, and Savvy just knuckles Lane
Yeah.
Lambert, the other assistant coach. So like he's bringing them down. He's like, "Hey boys, we got to stay in the
We got
moment
a
here.
long way to go,
We
man.
got a long ways to go. We're
And by
and
the way,
no,
that's a really good point that you made because there's a lot of people that would get excited on a goal to goal basis, but um, he's won a cup.
he
He
Chiefs
knows
been there. Yeah,
He knows how long it is. He knows how things can change. He knows the dynamics that go on with injuries, how important one game is to each series, and how big each series can get, and how hard the series get.
the
Right?
buddy, the ebbs and flows of the series, right? The ebbs and flows. Just when you think you guys have got it and you're gaining momentum, all of a sudden one goal, one play, one hit can change that. And Chief knows that and understands that. Guys, this is not going to be an easy process. It is a process,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got to work. It's one shift at a time. One, it's so cliche, but it's the truth.
It is the truth, and it's you know what? Listen, I'm a big Brady Kachuk fan. I love the kid. I want something great for him, but it just seems that something special is going on in Toronto right now.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's. I mean, John Tavares scores in his first two games.
Hmm.
Marner's had a really good series. Matthews gets on the board last
Yep.
night.
Yep.
Um,
Stolarts.
Stolarz is playing strong. Just things are bouncing for them. The goal the other day in game two by Max Domi.
Yeah.
Like, if you're Batherson, do you sit in the locker room and go, "What the hell was I doing?
What was I doing?
Like, what am I doing? I'm going flyby. I'm looking at the puck. I don't even." This is exactly why physical hockey in playoffs has to happen. Because if Batherson was playing the game playoff right, he would have knocked Domi right on his ass.
100%.
Instead, he comes with a miss poke, flyby, puck goes through, and all of a sudden Max Domi is all by himself with a clear lane to make a game winning shot.
He
It's it's
he
it's
could
mind boggling to me.
he could have sent Max. He could have checked Max so hard he would have Max would have woke up in Oakville. Like it was a
Yeah, yeah,
perfect
yeah.
opportunity
He would
for
have
him to
woke
lay
up
it
next
out.
season.
Right. It was a perfect opportunity for him to lay it out. It's tough because I like Batherson. He's a good
Oh, but
player.
nothing against Batherson. But this is
No,
this
no,
is
it's
this
nothing.
is this is why. Like, I don't care how good of a player you are. If you're not bought into the proper way to play, you're going to lose. You're going to lose.
You're right. You're right. And
And perfect example. You know.
you know, um, it's unfortunate because I wanted to see this go 6, 7 games,
Yeah.
Montreal, Toronto. And we'll get to the Dallas, Colorado, because you asked me about that, but then I wanted to get your experience of playing in the playoffs and so on. But I wanted to see this go 6 or 7, and obviously, unless something dramatic changes, we're not going to see that. Allmark is a heck of a goalie, but
Yeah. No, they're
you need.
done.
But guess what? You need to steal a game. You
They're
need to
done.
steal a game.
They lost both opportunities to steal games.
You need all, and Allmark's got to step up. This is a Vesna Trophy winner, and we'll get to Hellebuck in a little bit later in the show. But as a Vesna type goaltender, much like Swayman did last year, you've got to win a game for your team,
Mhm.
and you've got to steal one for them. And he just hasn't done that. And Stolarts has done everything that's been required of him or asked of him.
Yeah, 100%. I think 100%. And you're right. They need to steal a game. They have wasted their opportunities, or not so much wasted, but missed the opportunity to win.
Missed the opportunity.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
I thought the team played hard. I got to give them a lot of credit. Travis Green has them believing, they have them working hard, and they're going to continue to work hard. But they did not get the break before Toronto in order to get this opportunity to get that win.
I,
Right?
I don't expect Travis Green to uh, think everything's unicorns and rainbows after the game, but man, did he look deflated after the game. I watched the post game
Well,
news.
because he knew,
He knew
that was his chance to get back
that
into. He
right.
knew that was his chance to get back into the series. He knew that now the odds of them overcoming winning four straight is very, very slim. And listen, he's a realist. He knows. I mean, he's not going to say anything to the guys. He's going to keep them positive. But the real is the reality of the situation is Ottawa's done. They're
Yeah.
done. They're done
Yeah.
in game. They're done in 4 games. They'll go back. They well, if even if they do go back, if Ottawa does win Game 3, they're going to go back to Toronto and it's over. In 5, kind of like I predicted, but we'll see.
Nick Cousins got fined today 25 grand for shooting a puck towards Stolarts during warm up while he was stretching. Just Cousins just being a little shit disturber and trying to get things going before the game. He's played with Stolarts in the past, and just kind of shot a puck towards his pad, and I guess it was a big deal as far as the hockey world thinks, and they fined him 25 grand. So
All
a
right.
little
Hey,
bit of, hey, listen, talking about fines, and talking about suspensions possibly. What did you think of
joke.
the Brandon Hagel hit on Barkov?
Awful.
Awful.
I understand his competitiveness and I understand the playoffs and all that stuff, but we talk about hitting when nobody has the puck and interference plays. That was I don't even think he'd call it even interference. That was just a headhunt.
Yeah.
It's a headhunt. It was a headhunt.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Barkov didn't even touch the puck. He
No.
was chasing the puck. He's literally chasing the puck. Never had control of it. Never touched it. And Hagel actually throws a massive shoulder check into him. I would not be against suspending him for a game.
Yeah. He's having a hearing today, and I think you're right. I think he'll I think he'll get a game. I don't think he'll get two because he was assessed a 5-minute penalty on the play.
That's
Um,
fine. I don't mind that. I
but
don't mind.
I think he'll get a game, and I think that he deserves to get a game.
Yes, 100%. There's no question that hit was intentional. It was dirty. It was malicious. And granted, whether Hagel anticipated Barkov getting the puck, but Barkov never had the puck in the first place. He's forechecking. He's chasing the puck that Tampa has control of, and he gets hit like that. There's no there. You have no excuse. There's no excuse for that hit.
Well,
None.
if he's not suspended, he is going to be suspended. But if he wasn't, they play at 12 o'clock tomorrow, which is 10 o'clock your time. You can sit with a coffee and and watch it because I cannot wait. It might not be this year, but I cannot wait because Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Bennett are literally going to try to kill Brandon Hagel. After the game, Matthew kept pointing down at him, going, I am going to freaking kill you. I am going to get you because everybody on that Florida Panthers team
Loves
love
loves
Sasha
Barkov.
Barkov.
Loves
They
him.
love him, and they all are going to try to kill
By the
Hagel.
way, wrong person to hit.
Wrong person to hit. Exactly.
Talk about getting a whole team rallied around kicking the shit out of you guys.
I'm telling you, JR, they are going to get him. They are going to get him at some point in
Are you
time.
are you as surprised as I am that Florida just manhandled Tampa in Tampa the way they did?
Shocked. Shocked. We talked about it on our last show. I honestly thought Tampa, just because Matthew wasn't healthy, the amount of hockey that Florida's played the last 3 years, I thought that Tampa was poised in a good position to
Me
upset
too.
the Stanley Cup champions. I really did.
Me too.
And I am shocked that they went into Tampa and just took it to them. They didn't 2-0 last night. No
Yep.
goals.
Yep.
No goals. Uh
19 shots. That's it.
yeah,
They held Tampa to 19 shots. So, I mean, wow.
that's impressive, buddy. It's impressive. And I don't think anybody saw that. I guarantee you Coop didn't see that coming.
Well, nobody saw it, but again, you can't be surprised by a team that's been to the finals over the last 2 years. They know what it takes in
They
playoffs.
know. They
They
know.
know the type of hockey. They know what it. They know what kind of mentality is and where to bring it. They know when to be, physical. They know when to be, disciplined. It's
This
amazing.
This series has been a lot of I didn't expect that. I think it'll continue. I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Tampa goes into Florida and wins two there. Like I don't know what's going to happen in this series,
That's a great thing about hockey playoffs,
right?
right?
Like
It's
I don't know. One thing I do know is New Jersey's done, but we'll get to that in a second. But I don't know what
how
Tampa
about
may.
the East? How about just the East? You have Toronto up 3-0,
Yeah,
Carolina up 2-0,
yeah.
Washington up 2-0, and Florida up 2-0. I mean, it's there's no there's nothing. I wouldn't say it's not exciting, but those series are are set up to finish early.
They are, but I think of one series if it's and this is crazy. I think a team that can extend this and make it more interesting. And you're going to think I'm crazy, but I watched the Montreal
Yep,
Caps game the other night, 2 nights ago, and if it wasn't for Logan Thompson, he played out
yep,
of his mind in the third period.
sure,
And
yep,
Montreal was this close off
yep.
the side of the post late to putting this game in overtime. They have hung in there with that team. And going back to the Bell Center, I cannot wait to watch that game tonight because I think it is going to be awesome. And what
Yeah,
time
it's
does
gonna be great. It's gonna be great
that
energy.
game starts at 6 o'clock and 4 o'clock your time, buddy. It is going to be a great game. I think Montreal
Yep.
wins. I think Montreal wins tonight.
Yeah, and
Uh,
you look at the dashboard here because we do have this series on the board here, and it's Washington won 3-2, and you know what? They won in overtime.
yeah,
Another big win, another big game by Ovechkin, and they won game two 3-1 with an empty netter.
empty net goal.
So
Montreal's hung in there.
yeah, and now they're going home into the Rowdy Molson Center, and there's going to be mayhem that's going to be handled into the Molson Arena, and it's
St.
going to be
St.
it's
Louis
going to be
gets
tough for
last.
Washington, man. It's going to be tough for Washington that those
St.
two
Louis
games.
gets last line change.
Yeah,
People may not think that's important. That's important in the playoffs. Um, and I just, you know what, and good on Montembeau. I wasn't sure about him coming in the playoffs. I got to be honest. I wasn't sure how he would stand up, but he's played phenomenal for Montreal too. I really think Montreal takes game three tonight, and
I do.
I
I
think
agree with you. I
this I
think
think
they're
this I think this could easily be a 6 game series. And
yeah,
I hope they do. I think Montreal is such a good hockey market. They've got such a good, exciting young team. Maybe we see Demidov. He really hasn't done much yet in the playoffs. Maybe we see him, kind of get a
yeah.
firecracker up his
Well, he's
ass.
got it now. He's got to realize he's got to up his game. He's got to take more chances, be more aggressive. Surprise at the playoffs.
Yeah.
Who are your surprises at the playoffs?
Who am I surprised with in the playoffs? I'm surprised with Dallas. I'll be honest. I they stumbled. They stumbled down the stretch. They were not playing well, and
Hmm.
then they lose Robertson last game of the year. All of a sudden, he's not in the line,
Robertson and Heiskanen.
and Heiskanen. So I'm like, you know what? Colorado's going to steamroll them, but you know what? Never bet against a Pete DeBoer team, and I think his stat. I think he's lost almost every game won in a series, but he's won like 7 game 7s. Pete's stats are crazy. DeBoer, and then you got Tyler Sagan, who I was so happy to see him score the game winner
Yeah, that
last
was
night.
great for him, right?
Because he's had listen, he's had a great career. He's getting older, but he just came off knee surgery.
Yep,
He's loved on that team, just like Ben. They're the two old guards on that team.
yep.
They've been there for a long time, leading the way for the young guys. So I was really happy for Sagan and that. But I think this series will go 7. I would be shocked if Colorado didn't
I
win.
can't see Colorado losing game four. I mean, it was. I picked
I
this game to
can't.
go 7 games anyway, so You know,
You picked it to go 7.
yeah, 7. I did. I picked it to go 7. So we'll see what happens. It kind of is looking that way to happen. But you know what Minnesota is doing to Vegas is, geez, like who would have thunk?
Well, who would have thought, especially after Vegas wins game 1, right?
Oh,
And you and I love Billy Guerin, and he's been on our show. And but you know what? Kaprizov is healthy. He hadn't played. He hadn't played.
how
He's
do you
got
play? How do you play in the playoffs this good
when you haven't played for the
when you
last
haven't
month.
played?
Right. I know. I
Holy
know. I
cow!
know.
Right,
He's got 2 goals. This Matt Boldy, man,
Matt Boldy, just
third straight game with a goal. The kid's shot's unbelievable. I think Gustafson's outplaying Aiden Hill. I was watching the game last night, and Minnesota's speed is making, because as we know, I think the smallest defenseman on Vegas is 6'2". Minnesota's speed is actually making Vegas's D look a little slow and
wow. Yeah,
turn over the puck. And you know, I Cassidy said after, he goes, "I thought we played great and we're down." And so, but that's a game. That's a series there that I could see going 7 games as well.
I would
Uh,
never expect that series to go 7 games. Looking at the paper.
no, you would have thought that Vegas, would win in 5, right? Edmonton or Minnesota just kind of stumbled into the playoffs. Weren't playing well, but they were without Eriksson Ek and Kaprizov for a good amount of time down the last few weeks. So they're well coached by John Hines. John Hines is a great coach. So is Bruce Cassidy. This series I think it's got 7 games written all over it, and I think you can flip a coin on who's going
It's
to win it.
amazing. It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing to me. Um, to watch these teams battle through adversity, like the way that LA could have just crumbled. They're up 4-0
Four
with half a
nothing.
game left. Then they're up 5-3 with 3 minutes left. 5-3, they're up. And they win in regulation. It's not even an overtime win, but McDavid does what McDavid does, which is kind of weird because he was the superhuman in game 1 that we all expect,
He's unbelievable.
but he was non-existent in game 2.
I know.
You didn't even know he was playing.
I know. Well, I think you're going to know he's playing tonight in Edmonton. Okay. Now I'm going to make you laugh here because I don't know if you saw it or Smitty saw it, but I posted a tweet on yesterday, and the Edmonton gal last year that flashed her boobies, and
Yeah.
it became a virus.
Yeah.
Became crazy. Like she was on Spit and Chicklets
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. So I just posted a picture of her yesterday, very very nicely dressed with her Edmonton Oilers shirt on, and all I said was, "It's time to." There's a tweet. I go, "Time to bring the big guns in." And this tweet has absolutely gone crazy. I think last time I looked at it,
Oh my
800. It
God.
had yeah, there it is, 849,000 views.
Eight hundred thousand views.
No, 849,000.
850,000 views.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And everyone 90
But
90.
you got as many views as her bare boobs did.
So every 90% of the tweets are like, PLZ, that's the tweet of the playoffs. But then some of them are like, "Oh, that's disgusting and you're a pervert." And I showed my wife and she's like, "That's funny. Like, that's funny. Like, it's funny stuff. Like, can we not, like, isn't Twitter and social media, aren't we allowed to just like laugh once in a while and have some
Oh,
fun?" Like
God
that's,
forbid we laugh. God forbid we
oh
say
my God. People just,
God forbid we have fun with people that actually do stupid shit all over the place, right? You
one guy
know?
one guy goes, "Guess we'll find out if Tim Wife's follows his account." I go, "My wife is the coolest person ever." Anyway,
By the way, it was probably your wife that gave you the idea to tweet that out.
but I think that building. Listen, those Oiler fans. I think they're the craziest to begin with, but I love them
Well,
too.
I think they're the craziest in the playoffs now.
They're the craziest because McDavid, right? And I get it. Like I get it. I'm a fan of the Blues now. I live in St. Louis. I get it. I get being a crazy fan. But I think that building tonight, they're all going to have their Oiler jerseys on. That's the amazing thing about the Canadian markets. If you look at Calgary it's Calgary and Edmonton, I think are really the two most prominent at this. Every fan, no matter whether it's a grown man, a kid, an old man, an old lady, a baby, they all have a jersey on. They all wear a jersey to the game. I
Yeah,
have never worn
funny.
a jersey to the game. And that building tonight in Edmonton is going to be rocking. And hopefully they have somebody good to sing the anthem, because this harmonica choir that they had in LA was absolutely embarrassing. What what are they doing having people sing play their there it is, their harmonica
The
class.
harmonic class.
If I'm the players, I'm going, is this supposed to get us pumped up for the game tonight? Like, are you kidding me?
I know.
So
I know.
I think I think Edmonton wins tonight, JR. Who do you think wins?
I think Edmonton wins tonight. I think Connor uses that great ice to his advantage. You saw them fixing the ice in LA the other day. I'm
Uh-huh.
sure the ice was terrible. And I don't care who you are. If you're a Connor McDavid and you rely on the ice and
Yeah.
you have bad ice, it's going to affect you. And I know he doesn't want to sit there and complain about the ice and give excuses, but there's no question that the ice in LA was off and it was soft and it was tough to skate on. And, Connor's going to be back where it's cold it's still cold in Edmonton. The ice is going to be great. The Rexall Center is going to be flying. Is it still the Rexall Center? Is the new one?
Yeah.
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 Um, it's going to have, and by the way, he has no choice. He has no choice but to win, because if they don't win, they're not going to beat the Kings 4 games in a row. I'm sorry, they're just not going to.
And you know what? They're going with Calvin Pickard tonight, which shows me they're a little desperate, okay? And I don't mind the move. I actually don't mind the move at all, because Picky is really loved by his teammates. They're gonna play balls to the walls for
It
him.
could have gone either way, right?
But they're gonna go with Pickard. But listen, I'm sorry. And I said this to Andy Strickland yesterday when I was driving to Chicago. I go, Kenny Holland got railroaded out of Edmonton, okay, by Connor McDavid's former player agent, Jeff Jackson. And Jeff Jackson's the GM of Edmonton. And I don't think he's done anything to address their goaltending problems, unlike Chris McFarland in Colorado, who got rid of his two goalies a third or a quarter way through the season, said, we're getting rid of you two and we're bringing in two new goalies. You never see that happen in the NHL, getting rid of both your goalies. But Jackson hasn't addressed that. Stuart Skinner is an average goaltender. He's an average goaltender.
Yeah. Yes.
Stuart Skinner is not going to win a series for you, and
No.
Stuart Skinner is not going to lead you to the promised land of hoisting the Stanley Cup over your head. I'm sorry,
No.
good guy.
No.
It's got nothing against Stuart Skinner. He's a good enough goalie. He's playing in the NHL, but I'm sorry, JR, he's not winning the Stanley Cup for you.
No. No. He's not. He's not that guy that gives the team that confidence that he's got their back on every mistake, and you need that. You need that confidence of
And
goaltender
and
to make
and
that big save,
and
right?
they're without Ekholm. Ekholm's out for the series, which just
Beast, by the way, he's a beast.
he's a beast.
He is such a big part of that team that's missing, because he can play offense, defense. He's physically, he's a physical force. That's a big loss for Edmonton.
I think LA wins this series. They may win tonight. They've got Edmonton favored by 1.5. Rogers Place, not Rexall Place. It's Rogers Place. Thanks,
Rogers
Smitty.
place, okay. Rogers
Thanks, Smitty.
place, yeah.
And Edmonton by 1.5. What do you think?
No, I think they win in overtime.
You think they win in overtime?
I think it's gonna be a closer
I
game.
like that call. I
I
think
think
you might be
that
right.
I think they get desperate. I think the McDavid, Draisaitl. I was happy to see Evander Kane playing. I didn't, it was nice to see him on the ice.
Yeah.
Whether he's going to have an effect or anything, but yeah, I just think Edmonton's going to find a way to get back in this, and I think they're going to take advantage of that. I think they're going to see what happened to Ottawa and see what maybe how Ottawa feels today, and say we don't want that feeling tomorrow,
Right.
right? Because that's just a terrible feeling to be in, knowing that you're down 3-0. I mean, that's demoralizing, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's
Um,
because not many teams have come back from 4-0. But it's just wild. It's wild to watch a playoff series, playoff. I think first round that has been as physical as we've seen.
it's awesome.
There's not a person that I have not seen that's like, holy cow, are you watching these playoffs? They're unbelievable. The speed, the tenacity, the hitting, the goal scoring, right? The big plays, the yapping, the everything. It has everything we want in the playoffs.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
is it is it is the National Hockey League moving back towards a little more of the excitement and mentality that we have become so popular on?
Oh, I think so for sure. Everything's cyclical, and our business is no different. The hockey business is no different, and I think we are seeing a lot more physicality than we have in previous playoffs. But you know what? The first round's always physical.
Mm.
The first round's always physical. I noticed on our chat line, Heather Palmer asked who you have winning it all, and you said Colorado. So you're telling me right now, Colorado's down 2-1 in the series, and you think that they're going to win the Stanley Cup?
I think some teams that have to go through adversity in the playoffs that are able to come through are the ones that are able to get it done. Um, I don't remember any team, with the exception of maybe Pittsburgh when I played them, didn't have to come through some adversity in order to win a Stanley Cup. Um, Even if it's in the first round, even if it's the
Mm-hmm.
first couple games. But if you're gonna have some adversity, I would rather have it in the first round, the first couple games, and have it in round three,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think Colorado is so deep; they have such a good team, and their Dallas goaltender has been stupid good,
Mm-hmm.
and Dallas has been able to just cling on. They're holding on,
Yeah.
and then when they have their opportunity, boom, they've been able to capitalize on it. I think they've been very fortunate. I think they've been very fortunate. I mean, Blackwell scored their overtime goal,
Yeah. I know.
right?
I
It's
know.
like, what? Who would
Right.
have thought that?
Yeah. I know. No, you're
Um,
right.
so Colorado's going to get a break. Something's going to happen in Colorado's favor, and this whole series is going to swing.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Dallas still might. I think Dallas might win this series. They've got a lot of momentum right now, and they've got a lot of confidence. And speaking of, you know,
Jeez. I mean, I don't know how you do, like how you.
like if you're Colorado and you get beat in the first round, McKinnon's going to be pissed. I mean, he's going to
how
be
about how
pissed.
about we can have McKinnon, McDavid, McCarr
All out.
all out.
Hey, Draisaitl.
Draisaitl out.
Well, for the guys in their hockey pools, they'll be really screwed because they should have picked Cam Fowler in their hockey pool because Cam Fowler's tied for the lead in points with 7. He's got 2 goals and 5 assists in the
Nate Schmidt's
or
got 3 goals.
Cam Fowler had 5 points last night, 1 goal, 4 assists. He broke a record for a St. Louis Blues defenseman. Can you imagine? He's been there 3 months. He broke a record for St. Louis Blues defenseman with 5 points
He's
in
just
one
making
game.
up for all the playoff games that he missed in Anaheim.
I, so listen, we got to talk. We haven't talked. That's the only series we haven't talked about. And before you say anything, game one, Winnipeg has looked good. Obviously, they won. There's a reason that they won the President's Trophy. Okay, they're a very good hockey club. Game one, the Blues are winning 3-2 in the second period. Kyrou has a breakaway, doesn't score. If he scores, it's 4-2. Right? They're up 4-2. They go on. They lose the game. Game two, first goal Winnipeg scores goes off a Snuggerud into the net. Second goal, the only other goal they scored, Parenko skates through the crease, hits his own goalie stick. They go 5-hole. Okay. St. Louis scores one. They lose 2-1. They come home and they were not feeling good about themselves. They were not feeling good. I heard some guys say that they just didn't exude that confidence that they had in the last 2 months of the season. They went out last night, JR, and that was a good old ass kicking.
That was a
And
thrashing.
and and Bushnevich, who is really a player that I've noticed over his career, he has a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And when he's low, he might as well sit at the end of the bench because he's not going to be very productive. He scores 3 last night, so now his confidence level going into the game on Sunday is, I'm telling you, these guys, their mindset, he is
They have a new lease on life, man.
new lease on life. And
And you know why though? They were in Winnipeg and they lost both games, but they were nail biters.
yeah,
Here they're back home and they just trounced them. So how do you feel if you were Winnipeg Jets? Are you feeling unbelievable because you know you
well,
know
Hellebuck gets pulled. Okay, we've talked about this before. He at some point, if he wants to be considered one of a really great goaltender, he's got to win a
he's got
series
to
for
win.
Winnipeg.
He's got to
Got
win.
to win. Bennington beat him in 2019. Bennington beat him at the Four Nations Cup. He gets pulled in Game 3. I I'm telling you, people ask me, who do you think's going to win after it was 2-0 in the series? I said, I think the Blues win both games at home. And everyone was like, really? And I go, yes, I'm telling you.
It's a great call. It's a
I'm
great
telling you,
call.
I think they win both games at home, and I think they go back to Winnipeg for
Do you
game
think do you
5.
think Winnipeg has the most pressure of any team in the first round?
100%.
I do too. I think so.
100%. 100%. More so than Colorado.
Oh,
Because guess what? Colorado's playing Dallas. Everyone's going, those two teams are unbelievable. Winnipeg, the President's Trophy, is playing a team that wasn't even in the playoffs at the Four Nations Cup. Okay? They weren't even in the playoffs. So all the pressure's on Winnipeg, right?
I I say yes. I say Winnipeg has by far the most pressure of any team in the playoffs right now because they're the number one team in the league, right? So they're playing the eighth seed. St. Louis. St. Louis
Mm-hmm.
has nothing to lose. They
St.
have
Louis.
some great players. They are one of the hottest teams in the league coming down the stretch. I mean, I know they lost a couple coming in, but they went on an absolute just streak, 15 games in, and I think they believe they can win now. You beat the number one team in the league 7-2 or whatever they beat in the last night 6-2 and
6-2, yeah. No, 7-2. 7-2, yeah.
7-2.
Yeah.
You don't think that right now you're like we can beat these guys no
100%
problem.
they do.
Hundred
100%.
percent, 100%.
100%. And I don't know why, but obviously, I think there's a concert going on tomorrow night at Scott Trade Center or Enterprise Center in St. Louis because they get 2 days break and they play at 12 o'clock. They go from a Friday night or a Thursday night game at 8:40 to a Sunday game at 12 o'clock. So Enterprise Center will be rocking on Sunday. And uh, I want to ask you. I want to ask you off topic, not about the playoffs, but this past week, Greg Cronin, the Anaheim coach, and Peter Laviolette, the New York Rangers coach, was fired. I was not surprised at all by Laviolette. I was very surprised with Cronin. He must not have been well liked by the playoff players because or Pat Verbeek didn't like the direction that the team was going because certainly did not expect the Anaheim Ducks to make the playoffs. But as a young team, he wants to see them progressing and moving, a certain way. So they parted ways with him. Two questions: does a David Carl from Denver University, does he finally? He's won two national championships. Two questions for you. Does he make the jump to the NHL? And also, does Joel Quenneville get an opportunity to coach one of those teams?
I don't know why you wouldn't have Joel Quenneville come back into the realm. If I'm the New York Rangers, I would have Joel Quenneville on that bench in a New York minute.
I think it'd be perfect,
Perfect,
right?
right? Perfect for those
Joel,
players to have that type style coach in New York. It's almost like a match made in heaven, right? We talk about we talk about having Rick Tocchet going to Philly, match made in heaven, right? I mean, these are things that I would expect to see. I mean, I know that we need to kind of regurgitate or renew the regurgitation that's going on in the league where the coaches keep moving from one place to another place to another. You got to give some new space for new blood, new space for new mentality. New blood is important for the league, right? Younger coaches, coaches that have played in the minors. Um, I understand it's a different attitude, it's a different animal being a coach in the league, but I'd like to see some new guys come in, tell you the truth. But is Laviolette and John Tortorella done as old school coaches?
I don't think Laviolette is. And just when you think somebody is done, they get another opportunity. So, I think John Tortorella is a great coach. And I personally, my personal experience with Torts, I love Torts.
Yeah,
So I'd like to see him back. I think the league is more fun when Torts is giving press conferences,
of course,
is
the press
giving
conference king.
right? There's a rumor out there that the Hawks are going to sign David Carl to a 5-year deal. Um, and per our stud producer, Smitty, aka Bailey, he's saying that there's an agreement, but it's not a deal yet that the Hawks will sign Carl. Um,
Well, I
you
know
know,
that's number one on their agenda right now is to get a
right?
coach. That is the Hawks' number one item on their wish list. Next year is the Hawks' centennial year. It'll be 100 years for the Hawks next year. So it's a big year for them. So they got to make sure that they have a great draft, that they do free agency properly, and get the right coach in there. And this is a big year for them.
Well, you're right, and they're a young team, so you don't bring an old coach in there. You don't bring somebody that's been around for 20 years. You bring
New
a
players, new coaches.
you bring
You need new attitude, new energy, new everything coming in there, right?
correct.
Yeah. So I totally agree.
Carl could relate to Bedard and these younger players and so on. I think he'd be a perfect fit. I'd love to see Quenville in New York. Maybe Joel comes in and brings Torts in as an assistant coach. Can you imagine Quenville and Tortorella on the same bench in New York? That would be awesome. Larry Brooks, that hack of a reporter, will just go ape
He's
shit.
such a hack. He's such a
He'll
hack.
go ape shit if Torts is the coach again.
Could you imagine that? Oh my God, would you imagine that? I would think Larry Brooks would retire. I don't think he'd want to go through that again. I can't deal with him again. But I don't know. All right, so we got a couple crazy. Just give me your. We got Colorado that's down. We have Tampa that's down. Which one of those teams do you feel has the opportunity or probably will come back out of that?
You're gonna think I'm crazy. I'm still not giving up on Tampa.
Yeah,
You
it's for
know,
some reason I just it's I think a lot's going to determine this Hagel situation. If he's suspended, that's really going to hurt them.
yeah, it
Next
is.
game, this game for Florida is so huge, right? Winning game 3, winning in their building, getting a 3-0 lead is such a huge obstacle to have to overcome. Um, it's are you shocked that Matthew Kachuk came in after not playing for 2.5 months and just started right back from scratch again?
No.
Like, come on,
No.
amazing.
No, because it's Matthew. He's a stud.
Yeah,
He's a gamer. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna not play for 2 months, and I'm gonna come back in first game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm gonna score 2 goals.
and I'm gonna drive Tampa crazy
Yeah, yeah,
because you know what? They haven't even been under game. They've been so caught up in the verbal after the whistle stuff that they're feeding right into Florida's mentality. And
and yeah,
if I'm John Cooper, I'm like, boys, we got to play.
yeah.
Stop the bullshit. Stop
Well,
the yelling. Stop the complaining. Stop the
right.
yelling.
You,
Right?
so you think you're gonna get under Sam Bennett, Marchand, and Matthew Kachuk? You think you're gonna get under their skin and get them
No,
off their game?
you're not going to get
They
under Barkov's skin. You're not going to get under Verhaeghe's skin.
no,
None of them.
no,
None of
no.
them. Come
I
on, you're not going to get under. No.
I think the biggest surprise of the playoffs so far is Florida being up 2-0. I'm telling you, it's so impressive. Tells you what kind of character that team has. What
Well,
kind
I'm
of
gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna say Minnesota's is so far the surprise of the
yeah,
playoffs, but you know,
yeah, yeah.
and again, um, I think we're seeing the arrival of a new superstar that I hope gets more attention in Kaprizov. So
Kaprizov's unbelievable.
yeah, so
Okay.
this is
Hey,
this
well, we haven't talked about Jersey, Carolina, buddy. You know what? I feel bad.
who
Exactly. Come on, we got listen.
who
Marty Brodeur and Tom Fitzgerald. They're awesome, awesome guys. I love those. I love Rod Brindamore. I love the people involved in those two teams. Unfortunately, it's such an unsexy series to watch, and
who are we talking about?
with Jack Hughes out, Dillon's out again, Brendan Dillon's out, Siegenthaler, Jersey. I know, bud, but they just don't have the horses. Carolina,
Hey,
they're
listen,
up
I,
two.
I I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 'Cause I love hockey. I love hockey. I could. I'm gonna watch The View before I watch Carolina, New
Don't
Jersey.
don't ever say that again, or I will.
Yeah.
I will literally punch you right in the face if you ever say that again. Okay.
Oh, it hits a nerve, doesn't it? It hits a nerve to think that I would watch four ridiculous, idiotic women that have not a brain cell between them before I would
Uh,
watch a hockey game. No, obviously I'm going to maximum craziness, but still, I mean, listen, you have to give Carolina props. You got to give them respect. And Freddie Anderson's playing great hockey, and
yeah, he
um,
is.
he's playing good hockey. But this team they just melancholy going through their just playing their nonchalant,
They
good
just don't.
defensive hockey.
They just don't do anything for me. Like I'm not staying inside on a nice Saturday afternoon to watch Carolina play. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the
I
Carol.
can't name. And I'm a hockey guy. I can't name 5 players on Carolina. I can't.
I know. I
No,
feel
I can't. Honestly,
you don't feel bad, but I do feel bad because I like the Carolina fans. But I'm if it's me watching the game or cutting the grass on a Saturday afternoon, I'm probably going to cut the grass, and
yeah.
I am
Hey, maybe that's how they like it. Maybe they don't
maybe
want to be in the
maybe
spotlight, right?
maybe I don't know.
Maybe.
Hey,
However, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. It will be an NHL nightmare if Carolina's in the final.
ooh,
I just saying.
Do you remember the TV ratings when it was Edmonton and Carolina? Oh God. And
I
now
don't even remember. I don't even
now
remember that series.
now Edmonton, that was
I don't even
Edmonton.
remember that series.
I know, well,
I
I
don't even
do.
remember it.
I do, and my good buddy and your good buddy Dougie Waite won a Stanley Cup. But yes, listen, before we go, I got to give a shout out. You know the glass banger in Dallas, the guy that's
Yes.
obnoxious and he's
Yes.
bangs on the glass.
Yeah.
Well, he's actually a really good guy. I met him last year. He came to one of Bronson's games at a tournament in Dallas. He came to the rink and we took pictures. And his name's Nick Marouche, and Nick, I think, has led a very good life. I think his parents are well to do and so on. But he ran into a little bit of a problem a few months ago and got pulled over and I guess he had a warrant out for his arrest for an old DUI.
Oh,
So
geez.
so poor Nicky has been in the clink for the last 4 or 5 months. And that's why he's not behind the bench, but he gets out. He gets out soon. And if Dallas can make it to the third round, we will have the glass banger back on the glass for the
So is
third
that why
round.
we're rooting for Dallas right now to see the glass back?
Yes, we want to see the glass banger out of
Okay.
jail in that ugly white suit that he wears, banging on the glass and just pissing everybody off.
Well, hey, listen. If that's not a way to end this week's Snipes and Stripes by rooting for the glass banger, then we're going to be rooting for the glass banger. So, way to go, Timmy Peel. Way to finish off a great show this week. And thanks again to Whiskey in the Wild, to Protect the Net Guards, and Bet Online. You guys are awesome. Timmy, you brought it again today. And from the glass banger, here we go.
Glass banger.
Glass
Love
banger.
you, buddy.
See you
See
next
you,
week.
pal.
Bye, buddy. Enjoy
Bye.
the playoffs.
You too.